Oh, stuff stuck in my throat already. Hello, 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 and welcome to another One Line of Code. I am One Lion, and you are all amazing. Thank you so much for being here. For those of you that are here, Stream Elements, I updated my title before I started the stream. You should have said day 30. Anyway, welcome into a Wednesday on this wonderful planet going around the sun. That's the wrong scene. I kind of like the scene though. This is what my code should look like. Anyway, there's that. So we are saying hello to automated realms. I like to prime it in the morning with some messages so that when we start chatting with it, it's already, I know that it's working and I know that it is, yeah. Okay, so one thing that we're going to change about it though is as soon as we get connected to chat, we're going to tell automated realms to let everyone know that it's connected and greet them with an appropriate message or something. I don't know. It'll be fun. I don't think we're going to do that. Moving on. So the thing that we've been playing with is getting sound on the StreamBot game. So here is the bot game. It's an archery game. You redeem it with currently 1 paw point. And when you do, you show up right here. And you get instructions for how to shoot. And you shoot by putting in an angle. Let's say 6 and a magnitude or draw force. And so we'll put 70 and it's going to be too high. And did you hear that? It said 56. No. Okay, and there you go. And so we've been adding sound to this game, and the way that we've been doing it is we have this sound player component. The component itself is just an audio source thing. And I still want to know how to do this in a way that the audio source doesn't need to be unloaded, but I'm still able to play it so that the audio thing itself has been loaded. You know what I mean? Anyway, I got words. I know how to word. But anyway, we have this sound player. The way that we get it to play using only Blazor, aka HTML and C#, is we put it inside of a control statement, this if statement, and we say, if you are supposed to play, then render this thing. And you'll notice that it has the autoplay attribute on it. So it will play as soon as it's rendered. And yeah. And so that's inside of the sound player component. So the sound player component itself is rendered every time, but the actual HTML content is only rendered when that specific instance of it is supposed to play the sound. I don't know why I put play in air quotes, but it was fun. I can lock. You can lock. What else is not locked? You can lock. You can lock. Whoops. I don't know what I just did, but it's fine. I don't know what I just did, but I did a something on accident. Oh my goodness. Dude, work with me here, eh? Squish. Nope, still inside. Let's try to move you outside of that group successfully this time, though. There you go. Good job. Good job, you. You can now go up here. Nope. And that just put you in that group. You're so helpful right now. Oh, man. So helpful. Okay, we're good to go. So let's continue on where we were. We are going to add more sounds, but one of the things that we need to do with those sounds is as soon as we're launching the arrow, we want to sequence the audio so that it plays at the same time as the animation and synchronized with the animation. So right now it feels a bit awkward. As you can see, it goes wheel after the arrow starts flying. Pew. Ooh, 350. Ooh. Yeah, so the actual audio starts after we shoot the arrow. And we kind of want it to start. Actually, I really don't know when we want it to start because that's just a placeholder sound. And it's supposed to represent the arrow in flight. So what really should that sound like? And when should it play? So this is probably an instance where I should look at examples and see what other people have done because other people have probably made a thing like this better than I could ever. And then, of course, like I was planning on just making all of the sound effects myself with my mouth, but it'd probably be better if we just downloaded some free sound bites for the sound clips. And they can be in pretty much any format that the browser can decode, so since we're using an audio HTML element. So let's go look for some free sound bites. Or sorry, for some archery 2D archery game examples. Maybe we'll try it on Firefox so that if I find something with sound, we can all listen to it and then decide whether or not it's a good sound or not. Or not. Who are we logged into? Nobody. I want to log into Rio. Better could he help? Oh no. And the password that I have saved in there is not the right password, so password manager for the fail. G mail. That one, please. And update my password. Didn't even let me click the update password because it's like confirm whether this is you logging in or not. I want to update the password, yo. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Let me update my password. Oh, not now. Not now, friend. Okay, so. Okay, back to the desktop. Hello, desktop. How are you? A 2D archery game. Sample. Bone arrow. Okay, Give me some noises. This one doesn't have sound. Okay, this looks really similar. Not similar, but yeah, okay. So there is no arrow in-flight sound. There's the impact sound, and there is the draw sound, which is kind of what I was thinking anyway. So we're drawing a bow, and then the release sound. Yeah. So I think I like those three, but then again, when it flies over the target, I also kind of want to have a sound too. So do you make a sound when you miss? What a very Ness sounding song. Let's see. Free sound bite sound effects or something. No, I meant bytes with a Y. Royalty free. Download totally free and upfront with large download buttons to prevent confusion. And the reason that you need large download buttons to prevent confusion is because you have advertisements that do this download thing so that people will click on it so that you can generate revenue. But that's okay, they're free sound alerts. So, or sound bites. So you're allowed to do that. No integrity whatsoever. What am I looking for? Draw bow. No. Not quite. Draw arrow. Bow and arrow. Cool. Here's a good one. This one is chute. Oh, you know what? It might not be as delayed as I think it is. I forget that my headphone has like a 10 to 20 millisecond delay when it's connected via Bluetooth. So this can be used in non-commercial without attribution. At least I think that's what non-commercial 3.0 means. Can you guys like define non-commercial 3.0? Define non-commercial 3.0. I really need to put oh, I don't think in a tab exists for Firefox, but it would be nice if I could do in a tab in Firefox. Yeah, I don't think you guys have Firefox support. You're only Chrome. That's it. I don't like my starting page. I think I'm just going to make it about blank. So, non-commercial, any copyright or derivative of the licensed work cannot be primarily intended for or directed towards commercial advantage or monetary compensation. Doing so would be an infringement of the Creative Commons license. So does it look to you like the non-commercial 3.0 is specific to this Sound Bible site? Because I had never heard of commercial 3.0 as a license. If I download this, will you also... Oh my goodness. Big download buttons so that you won't get confused and it's easy to download. Where none of these buttons are the actual download for the sound. Oh, because I'm on the About page. Mr. Falcon. Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah, still. Downloads. Oh wait, I wanted to put this directly in the project folder. Yep. I put it in the UI last time, didn't I? Sounds. Show copy full path. Show copy full path is what I said. And it's what I meant. What? Okay. Yeah, I also kind of want to have a sources text file in here, so we'll add that in like 12 seconds. I'll copy this, but we'll say jute or launch arrowed. Okay, so for now, I don't know where I'm trying to go. Arrow animation. Oh, right. I defined all of the audio sources here. So that's arrow fly. Here is arrow shoot. I got this. Arrow shoot. Generate enum. Hello, Yannick. Automated realms. What are we doing today? I don't know if Automated Realms actually knows what we're doing. Today we're continuing our .NET live coding session. It's actually day 30, but that's okay, of the bot Derail. We'll be exploring new concepts, enhancing our skills. Yeah, whatever. That's so generic. Today we are working on adding more sounds to the bot game. For example, arrow shoot. Arrow, launch arrow is what I said. So I'm gonna try to keep these pretty consistent. So all I'm doing to get more audio files is I have this dictionary of audio file, audio source with reference. And so the audio source with reference is an object that has the audio source itself, which is an object that the sound player component needs, as well as the element reference to the sound player component for that specific one, so that when I'm ready to play it, I can just use that element reference dot play sound method, which is defined on the actual sound player component here. And the only thing that does is it hides the element so that it unrenders and then shows it again so that it re-renders. And as soon as it renders, it does autoplay, and we'll get a sound. So I hope. I mean, we've heard it before, so we know it's going to work. So let's see what happens if instead we make this be arrow shoot. And then that's where, so like, yeah, I think on initialize is when we're going to do the sequencing. Yeah, I already have a to do there. So we're going to definitely do that, or not definitely. We're going to start trying to do that today. Hopefully it works. But for now, I just want to make sure that this sound works. So here we go. I have saved. We should have hot reloaded. Just in case, I refreshed anyway. Gonna start the archery game, so you too can play archery while I'm doing this by redeeming archery for 1 paw point. Paw. Look, he showed up. Hi. Hi. Oh man, that one's gonna be hard. It's so low to the ground. So I want to pew at 2 and draw force at 80. No, you're supposed to play the not arrow fly. Oh, I didn't actually update it. Arrow launch. And it's .wav. Do you guys say wav or wave? Do you even care? Because you don't have to care. You don't have to have an opinion. But if you do, refrench. Refrench. Okay, let's try redeem again. Hello? That's a better target. These are easy because they're like pretty much the same every time. 550. Whew. No, you're playing the wrong sound. Yes, exactly. So I wrote the game using Blazor here on this game page, and it's just div soup. Here is a game area for the target and archer, which you can see if I interact with it and I show my debugging. So the dark space right here, right in front of me, is the game area. You can see that I have a little bit of a buffer on either side for the archer and then just the other edge, just because I did. The target can spawn anywhere inside, well, anywhere horizontally inside of this space, but vertically it can go a bit higher. And then I can manipulate the actual dimensions of this space using the debug and then save that. But anyway, that's just my bot running on my local machine in Blazor. So it's this page here. And I'm using this URL as a browser source. And then the rest of my bot does all of the Twitch chat command listening and text gen stuff and redemptions. So I think I need to actually, since I'm updating this static variable, I think I need to stop and restart the app. Hello, Diedrich. How are you today? Mike. Ahoy, me hearties. Okay, so I found this sound. Oh, speaking of, because I'm gonna want to do this, but I found this sound on this site called Sound Bible that has royalty-free sound bites. It has this thing called commercial or non-commercial 3.0 license, which I don't know that I have ever heard of. It would be nice if it was just one of the standard license names, but just in case, I'm going to give attribution. I don't know why I said just in case twice. Audio sources. I'm just going to call it audio sources. So, Arrow Fly MP3. My own voice saying I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. What do you have to apologize for, Copilot? I'm good, thank you. And how are you? I'm having fun, obviously. I have no idea where that came from. Thank you. No, Arrow Shoot. What do you do? That's what you're apologizing for. You're preemptively apologizing. Arrowlaunch.wav. Okay, not free sound. You're close. You're close. This one. Copy. And pasta. And then any information about creator Stephen Schultz. Yeah. By Stephen Schultz. Schultzenberger. Teedrick says, so I got into a project and just need a few basic pointers. Are you doing it in C? Is that why? I'm kidding. That was a terrible, terrible joke. Anyway, feel free to ask away. No guarantees that I'll be able to answer. I'll do my best. As you know, Fridays are definitely the days that I spend more time, more consideration on answering your questions. But I will do my best to answer right now, if I can. And also, you know, we have Discord. But definitely, ask away. Dream away. Dream away. Did I actually stop and restart? I did. I did stop and restart. So reconnect to chat. You can even ask Automated Realms if you want. Automated Realms knows how to code. I don't know if Twitch chat is enough to give you enough response on your question. So you're making a basic POS system, point of sale system, but I feel a bit stuck on a few things. Okay. Continue. Received. But refresh. Start the game. I show up here. Now, draw your bow. No, shoot the arrow. Make the shoot sound when I pew at the target and hit it because skill. Yes. Yes. That's the sound we were looking for. And I missed the target if you couldn't tell. I missed it again. What database should I use? I feel a bit overwhelmed by the choices. Oh man, see, this is definitely one of the questions that I'm not super comfortable answering. You have to redeem archery first using one paw point. Yeah, I'm not super comfortable saying which database to use for a point of sale system. One, because it should depend on your company. Like, are you doing this for a client or are you doing this for yourself? And if you're doing it for a client, do they have existing resources like Azure resources, AWS resources? Do they have their own on-premise stuff? Do you have your own on-premise stuff? So I guess the first question to ask is, where are you hosting? And then, I mean, so I'm asking that, but again, I don't know much about the types of things that you store in a database for a POS system. So I'm doing it for a client and for myself. They have a few desktop computers on site, and I'm thinking about a LAN system. So it's going to be on premises, on-prem. Yeah. Like, I'm assuming that most POS systems use barcodes, products, and descriptions. Yeah, I'm assuming that most POS systems go with a NoSQL database. And your options for that are things such as in Mongo. Or if you are hosting on Azure, Cosmos. What do you mean with archery? How to redeem it? So at the bottom of your chat, there should be a little circular paw looking thing. It looks a lot like a coin. I'm trying to pull up my window so you can see it. So right down here. Nope, you pause. No inception. So here's some pause, and then here's the archery redemption. And you just click that and redeem. Yeah, there you go. And now you can use exclamation point shoot, exclamation point shoot, and exclamation point pew. Or, I guess is what I meant to say. And then the first number is the angle. And so 0 is straight that way. That way. This is really hard to point. 75 is a really high angle, so that's like this. And then it's between 0 and 0 and 45. Sorry. The angle can be between negative 90 and positive 90. So negative 90 is straight down, positive 90 is straight up. The magnitude or draw force is going to be between 0 and 100, where 100 is full draw force, which is 106 meters per second, which is really fast, by the way. So the target is going to be no more than, how do I move my hand that far? No more than 70 meters away from you. So you shouldn't really ever have to use the full draw force to make it to the target. But if you wanted to. All right, you are, once Diedrich shoots one more time, then you'll be up. Because Diedrich has one more shot. So at the moment, shooting at around anywhere between, yeah, just like that. Just like that. That was nice. Okay, so now you're up, Yanko. Or I said Yanko, Yannick. Yanko's not here right now. Thank you for playing. Why don't you have a timer? That's not good. Okay, so try one more time. And if you're going to use a high angle, use a low magnitude. Yeah, I think it's broken. Oh no, why did it break? It told you that you're up and it queued you, but it crashed. Hello, what's the project of today? Today's project is this little archery game right here for the bot, for the stream bot. Yanko, can you please re-queue for your archery? But our typical project is an open source project that I have called the Financial Management Tracker. You can find it on GitHub at that URL. Okay, so it did go. So I'm also going to queue. And now when you shoot or pew or shoot, it should work for you. But I'm going to find out why the next player that's queued up did not work. Why aren't you shooting? Why aren't you receiving the message? Oh, wait, no, it's got to be listening to chat. Oh, there it goes. Did I just see it shoot? This is so confusing. What are you doing? Just work. It's going to change players when the timer counts down. And it changes, but it doesn't reset the timer. And so if I try to shoot, it shoots. What's going on? Why is it not shooting for you? I think we had this issue with someone else's thing too. Okay, so you should be up. And Automated Realms did not give me... Why is it not receiving your message? So here is your chat received. Shoot, shoot, or pew. Do shoot. Yes, I have tried Miley. Okay, so let me see if I can get your name. Tete Dampole. Tete Dambul? Anyway, can I just call you Damn? No. Tete? Tete? Help me out here. Can I just call you 66? Saying, I see on your repo that the point is to explore Blazor and eventually Maui. Have you tried Maui? And which option would you choose? Bare Metal XAML or Blazor Hybrid? So yes, I have tried Maui. That's a great topic. Let me actually read Dietrich's message real quick. So I'm a web dev, but for some reason I feel a bit stuck on the LAN part as well. Yeah, so I mean, essentially for your project, like I can't fathom hosting a point of sale system on a local network kind of thing. It's definitely, you know, on-premise servers that are secure and stuff. That's one thing, but a makeshift local network that you're using as your servers, I don't know. I'm just not. Excuse me. Don't know where that came from. Familiar with, or not familiar, comfortable with that. I'm all wiping my snot on my shirt. That said, what you essentially do for your LAN is treat one of your computers as a server. You expose the website or not the website, the database stuff internally on some port, and definitely don't use the default port if you're using SQL Server or any of them. So make sure to customize the port, expose that port internally only. Don't allow any external network connections to it. Then on your web server, which should be a different machine than your database machine, that's where you deploy your application, all of the services needed to communicate with your database and do all of that stuff. You will probably have separate worker services that do the point of sales operations independent of the web server. So the web server, all it does is it queues messages into probably Rabbit message queue or some kind of queue that says, process this thing. When you're done, let me know, and then I'll let the client know. And the client, of course, is any computer that's connected to your site or any point of sales machine that is connected to your service. So the architecture for it should be fairly straightforward. It should be fairly similar to if you're doing a web application, which is one server, or usually you just have it as a platform as a service, probably software as a service, a database that's independent of the actual application logic, and that's independent of the web server backend stuff, the API, whatever else. And then you have your client side of everything as well. The type of database, again, for a POS system, I'm not 100% sure what to use. Maybe Napalm knows. But I could recommend, yeah, I don't know what's going on. I really want to debug what's going on with yours, Yannick. I don't get it. I really don't get it. It's not processing your pew command. Yannick is queued. Spawning player. Nothing. So Diedrich is asking about, Diedrich is creating a POS. Yes, I said that correctly, for a client, and they are using a local network as their server architecture, essentially. And right now he's stuck on just trying to decide which database type should I use. There are too many out there. I'm not sure which one I should be using. And so, like for me, any web application that I do uses SQL Server just because I'm most familiar with it. I'm very comfortable with relational databases. I'm okay with switching to something like MariaDB if needed, but I don't know if that's actually appropriate for a point of sale system. You said it's storing barcodes and products and stuff like that. It sounds like it's just one shape of data, but with many different product types, and that's why I recommended maybe NoSQL, because you can have pretty much just one collection that is products and they can take whatever shape you want them to take, as long as your application knows how to process each product type based on maybe a discriminator that says, I am this product type and I will have these fields. Or you can even dynamically show whatever fields as long as your application can handle it. As far as the transactions themselves, that's the one that I'm more like, because when I think of POS, I'm thinking of also needing to calculate tax based off of all of the factors, like what is our current local tax rate? Do we have a county tax? Do we have a region tax? Do we have any extra things to add to it? Is there a promotion going on? So calculating the cost is a completely separate system, but I just think that that's like part of the I'm sorry, I'm not getting to your answer yet. 66 is fine. Awesome. But I will answer you. Man, I'm dropping the ball today, aren't I? So yeah, those are the problem with NoSQL is if you have reporting requirements, it's not a great fit. Start relational. If there's probably a need there, with sales, I imagine there is, because it will do both. Yeah. And I absolutely love using structured query language and relational databases. But NoSQL doesn't mean you can't use structured query language to get data from it. It just means that it's not only structured query language and it's non-relational. At least not in an easy way. Okay, on to 66's question, who already got the answer or deduced the answer. Yes, I would absolutely choose to use a Blazor web view every time. So let me show you the actual code for the financial management tracker. Maria is a flavor of MySQL. So sure. Yeah, and again, it's like, what are your actual, like, I only mentioned Maria's DB because of how fast it feels, in my opinion. And like point of sales machines, you kind of want them to act fast. Whereas SQL Server, you can make it respond fast, but like MariaDB out of the box just feels fast. But like you said, there are so many options out there. You got Postgres, you got other ones. But if you go with SQL and you are actually like paying for a license for SQL Server, that one has so much built-in support with Entity Framework. It's like one of the most complete, robust ORMs, in my opinion, when working with .NET. Index the hell out of whatever SQL DB you use. Just saying, exactly. Especially if space requirements aren't as big of an issue as they used to be back in 1986. The code loaded. That's what I'm trying to do. Little distracted 66. Come on, SI. So when I create these applications, especially for a stream, like a side project or a for fun project, I use all of the project templates that I can for Blazor. So in this case, I'm targeting all the platforms. I am targeting web by using Blazor Server and Blazor WebAssembly, so I can use either flavor. This was before .NET 8, by the way. We will migrate to .NET 8 on this stream when I get back to the financial management app. In which case we'll just have one project that will toggle between server and WebAssembly as needed. We'll probably do render mode auto the whole time. So anyway, web, and then for desktop, hello, Dukasoft, desktop, mobile, Tizen, Mac, which is one of the desktop types. Anyway, Windows, Mac, iOS, Android, Tizen. That's what the Maui application is for. Since I wanted one UI, or I wanted to not have to duplicate code, I wanted to be able to write one code for as many things as I could. My UI is in Blazor, and that's one of the main reasons that I am using a Blazor web view in my Maui project, because I'm using the exact same UI that I'm using for the web, and that's going to be for Windows, Mac, Tizen, Android, iOS. I haven't done much with UWP. I was just showing that you could do UWP, and there's supposed to be a way for us to create UWP apps that we can deploy on the HoloLens. And I wanted to make my app an augmented reality app eventually, so we're experimenting there. And then WPF is just a straight Windows desktop application that could be shipped in the store. Or so is UWP. You could also ship that in the store and have it be a Windows desktop app. Okay, so then 66 said, regarding the question about database for the POS, what we are talking about, what are we talking about? The database for the catalog or the database for the underlying sales service? That's a great question. That's what I was kind of asking. I just worded it poorly. .NET 8 what now? .NET 8.9. Plenty of good tutorials out there if you have the luxury, which you don't, I'm guessing, since you said localhost. Use managed DB offerings in the cloud. A couple clicks equals profit. Yeah, and so Diedrich's main thing is that the network connection is spotty. And so relying on the cloud to do any of their compute stuff. But I mean, if you're hosting your entire application in the cloud, then it would be even more reliable and secure for the customers. Hello, Apocalypse. I thought 789.net 8.9. See, 7 is also known as .NET. What? And then you have to keep your systems up to date, apply all of your patches, security patches, your Windows updates, or whatever type of system you're hosting on. Thank you, Dukasoft. You're so helpful. So kind. Oh, man. Well, there is not physical internet connection, just spotty 4G LTE, and that's a random shot most days. And that's fine. You say that, but the customer using the system will need an internet connection to your servers. Unless you're saying that the point of sale system is only going to be working at that one location. Is that what you are saying? I think that's what you're saying. Huh. Maybe consider something like event sourcing pattern, as it provides auditing features by design, which is, I think, a good thing to have on a system that manages transactions. For that, you can go for Martin's that uses Postgres as backend, or even event store DB. Correct. That's why I'm going with the LAN route. Okay, so that's something that I was assuming incorrectly. This entire system is only going to be working at one location. So essentially, it's a desktop app with connections to local resources only. Yeah, in that case, I mean, like, I don't know all of the laws for your country, but yeah, that just it's kind of dangerous to do. And it's not necessarily, dangerous in the sense of you are putting your customers at risk or anything. It's all LAN. So only if people go to the store or to the location and somehow gain access to the stuff, then they can steal the customer's information physically. They just steal your hard drives. But also for the store or the client, because if something happens to where your data gets corrupted, gets deleted, like, you have to think about doing all of your backing up of stuff off premises in a secure way to continue. And again, I don't know what your country's laws are, but to protect customer privacy and customer data. Yeah, it's just, there is a lot of overhead when it comes to not using cloud, but I understand why it's not viable for you to use cloud, because when someone buys stuff at the store, you might not have a network connection and you might not be able to make the sale. Yeah, and again, like, we will what I would like for us to do, including you, Napalm, is to make the assumption that There is no other option except for hosting the application locally on site. And so in that case, oh, I didn't know that, Napalm. It's totally doable. Chick-fil-A does edge-based Kubernetes clusters at every restaurant, but they also sync to cloud. So there you go. That's actually a great idea. You can still host your data stores in the cloud. You have your local copy and you sync it whenever your internet connection allows you to. Yeah, the problem isn't the ISP companies, it's the people stealing stuff. So yeah, if they get in there and they steal your PCs, essentially, you said they're PCs, so it's not like they're even dedicated servers in a server room or on a server rack or anything. So they might just be able to steal the computers that you're using and get access to the data. So, few things. Make sure that the PCs that you're using for your data stores are also encrypted at rest. So even if someone does steal it, they won't be able to decrypt the data from the drives. Unless it's already running, of course, and logged in. But yeah, again, Napalm, we're making the assumption that he doesn't have any other choice. Just to answer the question with as good of an answer as we can give for they even steal fiber cables. Give as good of an answer as we can give for the given scenario. Consider something like event sourcing. Yeah, I read that. Cool. Man, now I want Chick-fil-A. But I'm having tacos. It's Taco Wednesday, guys. The actual cabling. Jesus. So without a comma, that's hilarious. Anyway. Yeah, so our options are, or our suggestions are still go with a relational database. So MariaDB is I think it's free, right? Because it's it's MySQL essentially. But you can run a whole bunch of different database engines on MariaDB. Unless MariaDB is the database engine, you can run multiple database providers on MariaDB. Gosh, so hard. And then number two is for all of your local network needs, make sure that you have separate computers for the actual, well, man, since it's all going to be local anyway, I would still recommend having one computer that is dedicated to being your database server. And it doesn't do much else. You could maybe have it be a file server as well, but not too much else. And if you have it, another computer that is your point of sale software front end with the services to talk to the database. And then, of course, all of your cash register machines, all of your checkout machines will be still on the same network, but not connected physically to it, if that's possible. And then, yeah, make sure to encrypt all of the data on any of the machines at rest. So turn the computers off every night or every time that they're not in use, turn them off so that they can be encrypted, so that the data can be encrypted. But man, it's really, really hard to make suggestions in this scenario. What about commercial already available solutions? I can think about POS solution from Odoo or Odoo. which is very cheap, works online and offline, and is already tested. Wow. Yeah, check for commercial off the shelf. Thank you, 66. So practical. Yes. For the win. Hello, Goku Jax. So yeah, that's an even better answer than the ones that we come up with. But I mean, you still have to deal with the on-premises systems that are going to be running that software, or that you're setting up the system on. So those are still concerns to keep in mind and to plan for. Back up your data to some cloud storage whenever you have the internet availability. Which I'm assuming, because all of these names that I can't pronounce, OPOO works online and offline. That means that it has some kind of syncing system to their services, where you will have your copy of all of the information. You'll still be able to make sales, and people will still be able to make purchases and stuff, and it somehow syncs whenever it's able. So, yeah. Cheers. Let's think about syncing services again. Oh dear. Okay. The automated realms bot has had an issue. Not the bot. The archery game has had an issue through the stream, where it seems like me and Diedrich are the only ones able to play. Actually, I should just say it's been ignoring Yannick, and I don't know why. There didn't seem to be anything weird about Yannick's name or anything that would prevent messages from being received by the game. And if you can't hear it, I also added a arrow release sound. And if you happen to look over at the stream when the archery game is going, can you let me know whether the sound is actually when the arrow is launched, or is there some delay between the arrow being launched and the sound being played? Because I can't tell, since I am wearing Bluetooth headphones with a natural delay. Oops. $77. That's lame. Okay, Azure even has a sync capability from SQLite to cloud. Wow. To cloud SQL. Don't have to write any code, I believe. Not recommending SQLite, just saying options. I mean, if there's only one main computer that is accessing the database, I know that there is a way to have multiple connections to SQLite, but if there's one main computer that's accessing the data, and you don't really need multiple active result sets, you just need that one. Here's the product catalog, make your purchase, then you're good to go. Oh yeah, so I guess one more question then. Diedrich, if you have the availability to answer, you may have already started heading off and implementing stuff. Will people be able to access the store page from outside of a physical location? So outside of the place that you're hosting everything? Like, is it going to be exposed to the internet? You may have already answered that, but it seems to be in sync. Thank you so much, Ninja Gloppy. So that's good. It will not. Perfect. Yeah. So that does ease the complexity a little bit. Arrow thud. No arrow thud. Arrow impact. Impact. I might just make this sound myself. Oh wait, is that Blazor? You better believe it's Blazor. So the game that you see on the stream was written fully in Blazor, no JavaScript, only HTML, CSS, and C#, which I am trying to do, kind of as a challenge for myself, I guess. It's been fun. We did do a JavaScript implementation of playing sounds, but then like right as I was thinking of it, Marcus Voice Coder posted a sample code where essentially all you do to play a sound using Blazor is you use an audio HTML element. This is the financial management tracker. An audio HTML element with the sound source, autoplay turned on, and then you hide it behind a Boolean, an if statement. Do you also work on .NET API? What do you mean? Like, do I work on the API itself? No. I don't exactly know what you mean. Sound player. Okay. So the sound player itself is audio HTML element, audio play or autoplay attribute, and then it's inside of this if do play. And then we toggle do play by calling the public method play sound on the component itself. When I'm using the component, I'm loading it directly onto the parent component. In this case, it's the actual Aeroflight animation itself, which is, I'm sure there's a better way to do the Aeroflight animation, and I'll probably want to improve it, but for now, I'm just trying to get it done. Oh, using .NET Core API with Entity Framework. So yeah, absolutely. The actual stream project is the financial management tracker, and you can see all of the patterns that I employ. So I use Entity Framework. I have kind of a service-based architecture where I will have one set of interfaces for all of the application's functionality. So in this case, they're called service interfaces for my bot specifically. And then I implement the client side logic and the server side logic independently of each other, of course. But that way, if I am developing the app and I find that no, this needs to be fully server based, then I can run only with the server implementations. Or if I'm running in a case where it's like WASM, for example, which is what I typically like to use, then it will use the Blazor WebAssembly's client-side implementation to make API request to the server, and then the server uses the server implementation to do all of the work. Excuse me. Did I miss anything? Diedrich said the current old POS system running on Windows 7 works over LAN. Cool. Napalm says, you know what would be cool about the SQLite solution? You could do all your reporting in the cloud without putting load on POS. Think sales report, inventory, etc. Yeah, absolutely. And then it would just be available for you to download when you have network access or internet access. Okay, so I'm looking for the impact sound. We found this sample, this, okay. And I kind of like the sounds that it was using, or the places of the sounds. There's 3 distinct sounds. There's the draw sound, and then the release sound, or the loose or launch sound, and then the impact sound. So I'm kind of looking for a sound similar to that last one, but I might just make it myself. So Puka has a question. Does your Visual Studio autocomplete parentheses if you call a function inside of another function's arguments? Yeah, typically. So let's say that I do invoke async, for example. Invoke async. I open my parentheses, it autocompletes the last one, and then let's say I'm calling state has changed. I open my parentheses and then it closes it inside of there. I mean, you don't need parentheses when you do this, but you know what I mean. Yes, is the short answer. Mine doesn't for some reason. Very frustrating. Aw, that's really sad. We use fart sounds. Of course we can. Of course we can, Apocalypse. You just have to redeem features for 200,000 channel points. Feature request. I will write it down in my magical scroll of stream ideas. And I will put it in there, I promise. No, not fail sound. We're winning. We're actually going to do it, I promise. I just need to... There we go. Just need to find where my archery game notes are. Here. Okay. Add fart sounds for or duck sounds. Save. Okay, noted. I wish I could help you, Puka, but I honestly don't know what would be causing it to not autocomplete your parents when you're like specifically in that specific case, specific case where it's inside of another function call and you're providing it as an argument. If it was Friday, which is community day, I would spend many hours researching it for you. But I want to find the impact sound somehow. You have a YouTube channel. So my YouTube channel, be warned, is just my VODs, unedited, dumped straight to YouTube for posterity. Therefore, they will all be somewhere around 2 hours long and be mostly fluff. I didn't trim down or only highlight the important bits. It's a lot of this. It's a lot of me just talking with chat. But the entire project is there. The entire financial management tracking project from beginning to end is in a playlist. If you can make it through the fluff of the rest of the stream. I'm looking for impact, and then I'm going to get stuff that sounds like impact play. What? Sharp punch. No, that's not the sound an arrow makes. A zombie in pain. Of course. Yes. We need that one. Those are loud. Sorry about that. Enjoy yourself, 66. Thank you for being here. I'm here on Monday, Wednesday, Friday from an hour and 15 minutes ago until an hour or 45 minutes from now. Got it! Still waiting to 66. So I don't know what happens, but this thing gets stuck in waving mode. Does anyone have any medication for that, or, you know, home remedies? Stop it. Gunfire, no. Okay, Big Amy, are you here by chance? I don't mean to pull you out of lurk if you are here and lurking, but where do you go for your free sound bites? Do you just Google it and then try to find places that give you free sounds? Napalm says, how about the I am mad as hell and I am not going to take it anymore sound? That will get used a lot by me. I have very limited sound bite spaces, so I chose the ones that I want to hear. Because if they're going to be played often, and I'm in every stream, Arr, you came to the right place, me hearty.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Yes. Especially the dun dun dun. It's a trap. That one's my favorite, just so you know. Free best sound effects website. Are you just an advert for them or what? You have to register? Register for free sound effects. That doesn't sound free to me. I'm giving you something for you to give me something. That is not free. Arrow Impact. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, that one's nice. Yeah, exactly. Never play fail sound again. See, why would you say that? Why? Like, ooh, I really like this one. When someone says they like something, why is your first response, let's not do that thing? Or if someone says I don't like a thing, let's spam the hell out of that thing. Instead, what I suggest is try once in a while. Oh, you can only download it as MP3. Nope, you have to log in. You have to, you know what, guys? I am gonna register for you. Tempmail.org. Absolutely will register for your free sound. Why is there no let's go, Brandon? I don't know that one. Register for free. Yeah, you can have my email address. Oh wait, that's username. Sure, here's my username. Here's my email address. Yeah, YouTuber. Yeah. There you guys go. Here's my secure password. I'm gonna have it generate a new one. I mean, even though it's a what is this called? A fake email address. I don't want you getting access to this. You make your own. Why didn't you give me a new one? LastPass. Generate strong password. Do. You really want to get banned, don't you, Napalm? That one I don't really mess around too much with. It's a pretty hard limit for me. Pasta. Wait, where's the register? Pasta. I thought someone was called Brandon and he was special. It's true. It's true. Brandon is special, but we do have a Brandon. I believe Oh, I can't remember. Is that Cousin Tickles? Broken Sword's cousin. Save. Yeah, so the cool thing about using temp mail, disposable email, is that when it tells you to confirm your mail, you can do that. And since your browser typically has a save passwords thing, you don't have to write this one down, and if you lose it, oh well. Okay, so there we go. We are now registered for this free sound effects site. I want this one. I really like that one. I just finished registering. You should have kept me logged in. And you're going to take me to a page that's not the download for that? Oh, goodness. Somebody help me. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Okay, so this one cannot be downloaded for free. That's probably what's going on. Arrow impact. I want the wave. Yeah, okay. And that's what I thought. So, so many negative rubbings. Standard license. So where are the free ones? Show only free. Just yeah, honesty. There's like no indication of which ones you can download for free and which ones you have to pay for, unless it is specifically the license that tells you. Like if it's a standard license, that's one that you have to pay for. If it's a universal license, Creative Commons, that's one that you can get for free. Oh, it's in the hover. Yeah, I clicked on free sound effects, but it doesn't filter my search results by free sound effects. So the only way that you can peruse that to find the one you're looking for is to browse. But anyway, oh, okay. So again, you can only download the MP3. I don't care what format you're in. Just give me a... You're not the one I wanted. Let me tell you, the only thing that's important in this world is making money. This is going to be called Arrow Impact by Blastwave Effects. Blastwave. Whoa. What? And no, it's not Sound Bible. Nice try though. Arrow Impact. And that's it. That's all we... No, I need the actual... Do you actually have a page? Yes, you do. That'll make it easier. Impasta. And there we go. So we now have our Arrow Impact sound. It's an MP3. MP3. Let's add it to our sounds list so that it's available. That would be in-flight animation. Duplicate this. Arrow impact. Create a new enum. Oh man, mouse. I made the chat go quiet with that. Oh man. Not gonna apologize. Not gonna apologize. Arrow impact. MP3. MP2. So the only thing that I didn't like about this is that there is a bit of a gap at the beginning. So right here, this empty space, I'm probably going to trim that off. We'll find out if I do or don't. But let's give it a shot. Do you get it? A shot? Terrible. E-I-O-U. Arrow flight animation. We're going to do animate. Run animation, do animate. How do I know? When the animation ends. On animation completed. So the thing that I want is if launch result dot hit target hit target, then we're going to play the arrow impact sound. Again, this is probably going to change when I actually sequence this, so yeah. Arrow impact. All right, and since I changed a static variable's value, we need to actually reload the app and then get reconnected to chit. Oh, tasty. Yep, we're done with the email. The email. The email. Okay, we should be up and running. Close that. Reconnect to chat. Lion. Add. All right. And we are connected. So refresh the archery game. And start the archery game. Ba-bump. That's the noise it's going to make when it starts. And it's your turn. We're going to shoot. And I actually need to hit the target in order to hear whether the sound works correctly. So first try. Gonna hit the target. Spot on, dead center. That is a tiny target. Oh my goodness. Oh, that was... I mean, it made the sound that I wanted it to. Okay, I mean, let's just get all the sounds in place and then we'll smooth it out when we actually sequence it. So the next sound that I want to find is the one for drawing the bow. Ooh. I like the... I might use the this part from this one, but I need someone drawing the bow. Someone. As if actual people are doing this. That's it. That's all I get. No actual draw sound. Okay, next. Pixabay. That sounds safe. Let's download stuff from Pixabay. Do I need to sign up in order to download? Well, I'll tell you what. Oh, draw. Draw. And error. Why does nobody do the first part of it? Conspiracy theory. Everyone who does sound effects got together and they said, okay, if you're gonna do a bow and arrow sound, you can only make for free the arrow in flight sound and the arrow hit sound, or the arrow release sound and the arrow hit sound. But do not, under any circumstances, make the draw bow sound. Ooh, it's called bow loading. That's a good name to start looking for. Not really? Oh, bow. I get it. I get it. Okay, this is the closest we're gonna get for now. Can I download this without needing to create a... I can. I can. Okay, so bow loading. I like that. This will remind me what it was called. And if anything, I'll just try to make my own. Bow loading. Save. Okay, bow loading by bow loading MP3 by who? Pixabay. Just Pixabay. Pixabay. Here's some. Okay, so there's that. We got all of them there. So before we shoot, when we say do animate, we're going to first play the loading. Sure, you want to go up here? Go up here. I don't care. Bow loading. And you'll be bow loading. Save. And you can be... I mean, like, volume just doesn't work, we found out. So it doesn't really matter putting volume on there. For now, I'm sure we can figure it out. So the first thing that we want to do before doing the animation timer is play sound, bow loading. And then instead of waiting 20 milliseconds, we're going to wait 1 whole second. Yeah, total millis. That's what I was trying to do. Why? Why? Because you're a double. And you need to be an int. So be an int. And then we will shoot the arrow and then hit the target. Okay, so let's try that one on. See what it tastes like. It tastes like Taco Wednesday. Ah, I need to be over here. Nope, not there. Here. There we go. My channel. I really, really, really want to get these responsibility things to work, and then to also remember what channels I've joined with what responsibilities and then toggle them on and off there. That'd be nice. But then we'd just be spending from now until June, maybe, working on the bot and only doing that. That sounds like massive fun. As long as I get to hang out with you guys. All right, archery. Pew. 360. Napalm says, my colleagues rave that Copilot generates tests, but they're all crap tests. Yeah. That's really close, though. So as long as I can sequence the last sound to be when the arrow actually hits the target, then this is pretty spot on. I haven't actually used well, yeah, I did. Didn't I? So what happened was, the story is Peter, live coding, wrote some tests for us. Is the impact sound really loud, by the way? I was trying to do it while I was talking to kind of gauge whether it's just too loud. Kind of seems loud. I really want to be able to control the volume of these. 67 only? Really? I could have sworn that last one hit right in the middle. Anyway, Peter wrote some tests for us one day because he felt like it, and I really loved the way that he wrote the tests. So then when I was trying to add to the test, Copilot just filled in the logic using the same pattern. So as long as it has patterns to use, then it does pretty well. But if it's just like writing tests from scratch for your code base, then maybe it's probably like passing in a string does not crash the method. I don't know what kind of test I would give. Anyway, I was going to show you some tests, but don't need to do that. That was the story. Story's over. Story time is over. Oh, okay. I know what to do. I need a slight delay of the animation time. I'm just annoyed a colleague didn't do his own tests, and now I'm hitting the CI/CD pipeline error that there isn't enough coverage with your changes. Oh man. So for your company, do the devs have to write their own tests? Or do you have someone on the team that is responsible for writing tests for new code? Ours is all over the place. Yeah, so you write your own unit tests. Man, I really, really want to adopt when you add features or when you, yeah, specifically when you add features, because I mean, it's pretty known that if you're going to modify code, you should be making sure that the tests still run, the existing tests still run, but the person responsible for creating the test in the first place is the one implementing the feature. Like that should be part of the feature itself. I need the duration of the last animation minus the duration of the sound file. So last duration is going to be positions, launch result. My tests never fail because you can't run them. Nice. Order by X time, last default, and not time, duration. Oh dear. Oh dear. I don't know how to get the duration. The duration should be my frames per second, right? And then it's frames per second divided by 1, which is just frames per 1 over frames per second to get the total number of seconds for that frame. Yeah. So 1 over launch result dot frame settings. Oh man. Here's an easier thing. It will be the second to last position. So launch result dot positions dot not dot the second to last, yeah, dot time minus the launch result dot positions dot last dot time. Okay, and that should give me the duration. There's a laster default. Never noticed that one. Yeah. I don't know how long it went before I just discovered it, before I saw that it was a thing, and I'm sure it was either Copilot or IntelliCode. I don't know which one I had at the time that suggested it, and I'm like, nuh-uh, there is not a laster default. And there was. And there was. And this thing even remembered to take into consideration that I have an animation speed. That matters. Whoops. Thank you for reminding me of that. Okay, so this actually needs to be the last duration times animation speed minus, and then this will be min, by the way, or max. Math.max 0 minus, I don't really know how long this audio clip is, but I want some of the flight sound and then the impact. Hello, Marcus. Thank you again for the code snippet on Monday. I don't know if you were able to stick around to hear me just be like, I should have clicked on this first. use the indexer caret 1. So caret 1 is last, yeah. And then caret 2 is... So is the indexer better? I assume so. Is better than using the last method. My understanding was, as of .NET 7, they made improvements to a lot of the Lambda functions. And that means that if you use .last, it's going to use the fastest possible for your IEnumerable implementation. In this case, because it's list, it would use the dereference. Yeah. But like, if for whatever reason I decided to turn this into an IEnumerable, then I don't think that or an I collection even, that the dereferencing index works. I don't know for sure. But anyway, let's just test this out. Let's see if it works. But yeah, most linting tools do bark at you if you don't use the square brackets thing. Oh, I can hit this target. Say this confidently and I'm gonna miss on the first shot. Pew. Oh man, it's so loud though. I really need to equalize the volumes for all of them. And yeah, it really shouldn't have the sound unless it's going fast. So this is really hard to decide how to... Like, I can barely hear the draw sound at this volume. I can somewhat hear the release, and then I can really hear the impact. But it is lined up a little bit more better. So I'm gonna offset it by a little bit. Try one more time. A little bit more better. Shoot. Man, I hate it when they're this low. 2. More goody. Yeah, it doesn't make the draw sound after the first shot is what's happening, I think. That's what's happening. It's probably because it's not doing this rerun animation. But it has to be, because that's the only other place that I'm doing the release sound. Weird. Anyway, it's there. I was so concerned about the bow sound that I didn't even pay attention to the impact sound. Oh my gosh. Shoot. 560. It's a little late. And now it's just not going to shoot at all, because whatever change I just made told it to stop listening. Luminac. Big eye here. All right. Shoot. 0. Do it strong. One. That's really close. It's really close. It's pretty close. I don't know. I'm gonna leave it at that for now. We need to go and find some fart sounds. Farts. Just for you, Apocalypse. Okay, so that's gonna be the launch sound. I'm not gonna spend too much time on finding the right fart. What farts? Do it. I will. I'll click on it. Fart launch will be one of them. I know a fart. What was his name? By Mark Koenig. Koenig? I don't know how to pronounce that, but anyway. Oh. Universe Field. Universe Field. Shout out him to Bardaki. And I need the link to this. Fart whoosh. Ugh. Don't even want to know what a fart whoosh would sound like. All right, here's your wet fart. Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for that. This is not a stream intended for mature audiences, so I apologize. I apologize for the butt. It's not that wet, to be honest. False advertising. Okay, so this one could be an impact. Yeah. So what? If we go with farts, we're gonna have to have multiple impact farts because hearing the same one is just kind of lame. Try the happy birthday one. Oh no. I would just get multiple farts, and then we'll move on. Fart impact 1? Question mark? Fart impact 2? It's the most popular. Oh, is that the most popular app on the iPhone and the fart? Oh, yeah. I kind of remember that being a thing. Is it still a thing? That the fart app is the most popular app on the iPhone? This would be an impact. Or it could be a launch. This one could be another launch. I'm not even given attribution to these now. Either that or the bathroom scales. What's the bathroom scales app? I don't have an iPhone, so. I love farts. Never gets old, says Jiggasoft. Awesome. This could be a miss sound. fart miss. Oh no. Marcus, no. So Marcus just explained what the bathroom scales app is by saying some people are dumb enough to stand on their phone to test how much they weigh. Oh my goodness. Wait, what? Tavern ambiance with open fire effect. It sounds like a tavern ambiance. Oh, you have the new wayphone too. Oh my goodness. I don't want echoes. That'll be when you shoot at 100. Oh no, I seem to be out of time. No more fart sounds. Full power launch Blazor. Okay, all right. We got enough fart sounds for now. We will sequence or choose at random a fart sound for various reasons next time. But for now, you can definitely try out the archery game and get the current loading arrow sound, at least on the first one, and flight and impact sound, or loose and impact sound. So, exclamation point shoot, 4 hiccups, 50 or 60. I don't know why that made the shoot sound twice. Do you have a bullseye? I do not have a bullseye. There you go. I really want to hear these sounds without my Bluetooth headphones so that I can hear how close they are. It's being synced, so we can think about syncing. Syncly. I'm getting the feeling that Big Gamey's not going to be streaming today at 12:30 at least. Just kind of sad. I was hoping to head on over to him. Big Gamey. That's okay though. He has life going on. As do we all. I'm going to go to this screen for now, but that's just to say thank you all for being here. Really appreciate you. I hope you had a fun time. It's Wednesday. It's partway through the week, midway through the week for a lot of people. And I hope it is going well. I need to get all of these links to give an attribution to these guys. But yeah, because BitGamey is not streaming. When was the last time I rated you? Discord. Who have I rated recently? I rated Setolix, Bardaki, BitGamey, Captain Commerce, Muniz, BitGamey some more. Oh, I didn't rate Captain Commerce. I never rate Captain Commerce. Seto is on, but I just rated him yesterday. So instead, I mean, you can definitely head over to Setolix. I'll be lurking on his channel like always. Setolix, but he has C#.NET 8. I mean, if you guys want. Wait, Simple's live? Nuh-uh. Uh-huh. But I mean, you guys can definitely direct the train, direct the raid. If you want to go to Sedlix, we'll go to Sedlix for twice in a row. He just started, yeah. I love going to Simple as well. If you guys don't know Simple Game Dev, shout out Simple Game Dev. You can give him a follow when we get there, or you can give him a follow now if you're not already following. But he's making a game that is inspired by Half-Life and Portal. Raid both of them. He is an amazing game developer. He will talk himself down-ish, but at the same time, he knows he's skilled. So he's got some amazing, amazing development skills, design skills. He's creating all of his game in Unity. He doesn't really use the other 3D modeling softwares he has. So he can use Blender, he can use other things, but the majority of his game was made in Unity. And when you see it, you're going to love it. It's called Artificial. And I'm pretty sure he's back to working on the core game. He was working on the prequel, on the prologue, for the past few streams. But I'm pretty sure he's back to the main game. I'm always lurking on his channel. It's one of my favorite people to watch. Just because his game looks amazing. I'm looking forward to playing it. I played the demo like 80 times. But yeah. He does have a demo on Steam too. So check it out. Anyway, that's it for me for now. I'll post the recording of this video to YouTube no sooner than 24 hours after I end the stream. Feel free to hang out with us on Discord if you want. It's a pretty quiet server, but we're all really cool people. And timer's counting down, so I don't know what else to say other than ciao.